Have you ever wished you had a time machine? Well, what if I told you that when it comes to your money, you actually do? The secret is understanding that a dollar today is not the same as a dollar tomorrow. And getting a handle on this isn't just a cool party trick. It's like a superpower for making smarter financial decisions, whether you're building a massive factory or just trying to plan for your own future.
Okay, let's just jump right in with a question. Say you've got $100. You find a great investment that pays out 15% interest a year. How long does it take for that $100 to turn into $200? The answer, by the way, is a little under 5 years. And that's all thanks to the magic of compounding. This one little puzzle, it's the key to everything we're talking about today, that powerful link between your money, time, and its potential to grow.
So here's the game plan for this explainer. First, we'll get into the big idea of money's time-traveling ability. Then we'll look at single chunks of money and how to move them around in time. After that, we'll level up to streams of cash, tackle how things change in the real world, and wrap it all up by answering a massive $200 million question.
All right, let's get into it. Section 1. What in the world is this time-traveling ability of money?
It all boils down to this one simple, incredibly powerful idea. A dollar in your hand, right now, is worth more than a dollar that you're promised a year from now. So why is that? Well, because you can take that dollar today, you can invest it, and you can let it work for you. It has earning potential. That ability to grow is exactly what gives today's money its extra value.
So let's start with the most basic kind of financial time travel. Just taking one single chunk of money, what we call a lump sum, and either pushing it forward into the future or pulling it back into the present.
First up, let's hit the fast-forward button. This is what we call calculating the future value. You're basically taking an amount of money you have today, that's the present value, or P, and you're figuring out what it's going to grow into down the road. It's kind of like planting a money seed and watching it sprout over time.
And of course, the time machine works in reverse too. We can hit rewind. This is calculating the present value. Here, you take some future amount of cash, like a prize you'll get in 10 years, and you figure out what that pile of money is actually worth in today's dollars. It answers the question, what's that future cash worth if I had it in my pocket right now?
Now, I know this can feel a little abstract, but it's not just some boring textbook theory. There's a great saying, money makes a huge difference in the life of a corporation, an individual, and a government. It impacts everything. And to see just how big of a difference it makes, let's jump into a real-world case study.
So let's meet the Houston American Cement Factory. The plan back in the day was to build it in the year 2012 for a cool $200 million. For us, that $200 million is our anchor point, our present value. And the company figures that the interest rate, or what they call the cost of money, is about 10% a year.
Okay, here's where our time machine gets really fun. What if that project didn't happen in 2012? What if they had built it 4 years earlier, in 2008? Or what if they got delayed and couldn't build it until 2015, 3 years later? That $200 million price tag starts to change, and we can figure out exactly by how much.
And wow, the results are pretty shocking. Just look at this. The $200 million project in 2012 is our baseline, in the middle. But if they had built it just 4 years earlier, it would have only cost around $137 million. But delaying it by 3 years, the price tag balloons to over $266 million. That's a $66 million penalty just for waiting. That right there, that is the time value of money in action. Okay, so moving single payments around in time, check. We get it. But let's be real. Life isn't usually about one big payday. Money usually flows in streams, like a paycheck or a car payment. So let's dive into Section 3 and see how that works.
Right, so up to this point, we've been looking at a really simple picture. Just a single one-off payment. It's clean, it's easy to understand, and it's a great place to start.
But most of our financial lives look a whole lot more like this: a series of regular, equal payments that happen over and over again. Think about it: your rent, your car payment, your retirement savings. This is a cash stream, and it's got a special name in the world of finance: an annuity.
So what is an annuity? Don't let the fancy word fool you. It's just a series of identical payments made over a set period of time. And trust me, this concept is absolutely everywhere. Your mortgage, your student loans, the money you put away for retirement every month, they're all annuities. Understanding this is pretty much the key to getting a grip on your own finances.
Okay, let's get back to our cement factory. Once this thing is up and running, the plan is for it to make a steady stream of money.
an annuity of $50 million every single year for 5 years. Now here's a really tempting trap, and it's where a lot of people get tripped up. You just do some quick math in your head. $50 million a year times 5 years. Hey, that's $250 million in total. The factory only cost $200 million. This looks like a total slam dunk, an easy $50 million profit, right?
Nope, wrong. And this is the critical part. We can't just add up future money. When we use our financial time machine to pull all of those future $50 million payments back to today, to the moment the investment was made, their combined value, their present value, is only $189.54 million. So that future stream of cash, it's just not enough to cover the cost of the factory today. This project, as planned, is actually a money loser.
Now you might be thinking, hold on, a factory that makes the exact same amount of money every year? That doesn't sound very realistic. And you'd be absolutely right. In the real world, things change. Costs go up, sales go down, and we need a tool to handle that too.
And that's where this idea of gradients comes in. It sounds kind of complicated, but all it really is a way to handle a cash flow that changes in a predictable way. It lets us model things like maintenance costs that slowly rise over time and figure out what they're worth today.
And you've really only got 2 basic flavors here. There's an arithmetic gradient. That's when things change by a fixed amount each year, like maintenance costs going up by exactly $1,000 annually. Then you have a geometric gradient, where things change by a set percentage, like if revenues were expected to drop by 12% a year. These tools just let us make our predictions that much more accurate. Okay, so we've gathered all the pieces of our toolkit. We can handle lump sums, we can handle steady cash streams, and now we can even handle cash streams that change over time. It's time to put it all together and give the final verdict on our $200 million question.
So here's the bottom line. On one side of the scale, we have the cost to build the factory today, a solid $200 million. On the other side, we have the total value of all the money it's expected to make, once we've pulled it all back into today's dollars, just under $190 million. The verdict is clear. The future revenues simply don't justify the present cost. Based on these numbers, this project is a no-go.
You know, we've been talking about a giant cement factory, but these tools, present value, future value, annuities, they apply to everything. They apply to your savings goals, to paying down a loan, to planning for retirement. They're the lens that helps you bring the financial future into focus. You now have the keys to a financial time machine. The only question is, where are you going to go?